All right, let's continue with the third part of how to become an expert trend trader in 30 seconds flat. Hi, this is Load with Black Bear Bill Trading, and as always, welcome. I'm glad you're here, and I appreciate you being part of my team. So without further ado, let's just dive right into this. Let me get myself out of the way. Like I said, this isn't exactly the easiest little gizmo to use, but it's what I got. So here we are, and as I already explained in prior videos, on the H1 we have the 144, which confirms the trend. Then on the 15-minute we have the tunnel comprising of the 144, the 169, and the 12 EMA, which is our trigger EMA. Yellow or 12 EMA is above the tunnel. Tunnel is widening open. Price is above the 12 EMA. We enter a buy. Equally is the logic for sell when it's below. In this case, I already mentioned in the very first video that taking profits is actually very easy. You enter, and I'm just going to go with the flow of this right now. So you enter right here because price went above, although this is really not a good opportunity to enter because the tunnel is flat. But just for argument's sake, so I would then take my first partial profit right here or close the trade altogether. I took partial profit, so I let it rise. It goes below again. I take partial profit yet again. Now we got a little bit right here, as you can tell, a little bit of a whipsaw thingy. So there would be back and forth, not really knowing what to do. Then we get to this level right here. I take partial profit again, because as long as price does not touch the 144, I stay in the trade. But as I continue, you can see how many of them are out there that I would have to literally take partial profits on. There has to be a simpler way, and in fact there is. So let me show you what it is. We can actually set our take partial profit targets directly on the chart, and we never have to think about it again. Once these levels are reached, we can then simply close out part of the position, and we're done with it. So let me show you how you do this. I'm using MT4, so I really don't know how it will work on other trading platforms, but I think it'll probably be pretty much the same thing. If not, unfortunately, I won't be able to help you with that, but on MT4 it's very simple. Right click, select the 144, then when you have it, where is it here? Let me get it. Now it's not giving it to me. Okay. Oh, I'm still stuck in this thing again. Always the same. I keep forgetting that. So here we go. I select this, the 144, and I click on properties. And now normally you sit here. We click on levels, and now I'm going to add levels. But I want to show you something first, the wrong way and the right way. The right way, we're going to add Fibonacci levels in here. The wrong way is to add the actual Fibonacci number, 55, add. The next sequence is 89, add. The next sequence is 144, add. And we'll add one more, 233. There you go. Now, watch what happens. When I click on OK, it draws these bands right here. And these were supposed to be all profit targets that when price hits there, I can take them, partial profits, while price continues to go up in my chosen direction. The same is true for the down. And let me just further emphasize this. You'll see exactly what I mean. I go now to add, and I type in minus 55, minus 55. I add it, and I add another one, minus 89, add, and I'll do one more, minus 144, and I'm going to change add. I'm going to, well, I can't change the color because it'll change the color for everything, so I click OK. And now you see how tight these bands are here? I mean, there's hardly any movement here. This is really not the right way to do it. And the reason for this being so tight is that the levels you set in the moving average right here are not based on pips. They are based on percentage. So we need to convert this somehow to pips so that we have an actual reflection. 55 pips, 89 pips, 144 pips, 233 pips, and so forth. So how do we do this? Well, instead of adding let me first of all get rid of all of this and start fresh. There we go. So to do this, we actually add the same number with a 0, 550. Add. And we add 890 instead of 89. This one I missed. Let me go back. 890 instead of 89. Add. And we add 144.0 instead of 14.4. And we add 2330 instead of 233. And now watch what happens when I click on OK. Here you go. Now, as you see, the gap immediately whitened, and I actually have at this point in time 1, 2, 3, 4 opportunities to take partial profit. Here's a quick pro tip. Once you hit 233 in Fibonacci level, that is a very, very strong indicator that a price will start to reverse and go this way. Now, of course, this is not always the case, depending whether we have some important news that just came out or economic reports that are scattering, and then price may well continue. Now, also not true that depending on how the day of the week is and whether there's a lot of traders at that moment, price may also stop, maybe around here as opposed to, and then reverse. But the 144 and the 233 are definitely partial profit levels that you should look out for the possibility that price may reverse. And as I mentioned, see right here, we are obviously in a very, very weak, we're kind of heading flat right here, even though it says we're in an uptrend here, but we're approaching gradually the 144. So this is not a place to enter. And as you can tell, it went up a little bit, then it flattened out a little bit, and now it's starting to go down. So once this crosses below, it's safe to say this trend, the uptrend, is no longer there. We're now reversing. But getting back to where we were, this is how you set the levels of Fibonacci levels for partial profits. And as I showed you, it's quite easy to do. Again, just right click on the 144, select properties, and then under the level, enter the levels that you want to have. And the same goes for if you have sell, but with the sell, you need to do one shift. And the shift is that you do not start from the 144, you start from the 169. So we go here, right click on the 169. The reason for it is that otherwise your pip rendering will be based on the 144, not the 169, which hovers below the 144. So getting back, we right click on the 169, and we now set our levels here. Exact same way, just don't forget to add a minus in the front and a 0 after the Fibonacci number, just like that. And now in this case, we can also change color. 089. There you go. Add the 0. We do one more. Minus 144, 0. Well, actually, let me keep it even with the other one. And minus 2330. Okay, and now I'm going to change color. Since we're down, I'm going to choose red just for argument's sake. Here we go. And there you go. These are now what you see right here. You have your in buy position take profit levels, and what you see right here are your sell position take profit levels. So you already see one happening, that if I would have been in this trade when price hit here, I would have already taken a partial profit, and it didn't matter that it had a small retrace right here. I would have already locked in some profits. 55 pips, from my entry point. So this is how you guarantee yourself to have profits in this very easy, very simple, straightforward trend trading strategy that, yeah, many people don't even know it exists. So in the final video, which I won't post until Monday because tomorrow is Friday already, I believe it is, right? Am I right? Yeah, tomorrow is Friday already. Then I'm going to put all this together, and hopefully we're able to do an actual trade, and you'll see it in action. But we're going to put it all together, and other than that, that is it for now. Last but not least, yet again, a shameless plug. I have a new segment I started. You can ask me any forex trading question you would like to know have an answer to. Go to my website, blackbeardog.com, fill in the short questionnaire, and once a week I will check all the questions. The one question I find is most beneficial to my viewers, I will answer right here on YouTube. And of course, I will give you proper credit if you happen to be the one to submit it, or whoever submitted the question. Okay, this is Lloyd with Black Bear Dog Trading. Thank you, as always, for being here. Please stay safe, and as always, God bless.